Still too far away, still too far. Now we're gonna start this dance off with a nice dreamy walk. Still too far away, still too far away, Zillions, still too far. It's still too far the whole world. 10 toes down, chose my own words wisely. I poet like a bar. Send you spit like your cars.
I know DC typically recently, by everybody I hear talking about them, gets a lot of flack for, like the live action stuff, especially when they're being compared to the Marvel movies and stuff like that. But that aside, DC's animated films are spectacular. Like I'm almost more confused on why the live action movies aren't better, especially with the writing and like the dialogue and just like interactions in general. Because I feel like the animated films does the communication of language very well, and Wonder Woman Bloodlines is no exception. It's cool because you really get a sense that from very early on in the movie that Diana of Themyscira has just a thirst for life. One of my favorite things about superheroes is just their level of conviction. I think there's some great examples like Batman. He just has his convictions. He's locked in. Wonder Woman and the people she comes from, they have their convictions, and even when they don't agree, both sides are locked in. So Wonder Woman sacrifices her connection with her mother and her family and all of her sisters on the Amazonian island of Themyscira, and she decides to risk it all to help man. I like this movie a lot. All right, my favorite thing about this movie is because it's just tons of villains in it, and due to the intelligent villains in the movie, all of the other villains in the movie are supercharged. So every time Wonder Woman gets to a fight, it's like this supercharged version of all the villains that she thought she knew how to defeat easily. She still gets the job done, but it's definitely not as easy. The first villain she faces off against is Giganta. The smart or the intelligent villains of the movie are Dr. Poison and Dr. Cyber. So they just recruited all the villains that don't like Wonder Woman and gave them like injectionable, like supercharged, like whatever you would call it, serums. There you go. Serums to make them go supercharged. So the first supercharged villain was Giganta. She goes huge, but Wonder Woman getting that ass. Try not to curse, but she definitely whipped Giganta's behind. At one point, I remember Wonder Woman punching Giganta's head through a ceiling. It's powerful stuff, man. The second villain she fights against is Cheetah. Cheetah, but like Cheetah's like supercharged, bro. Like out of nowhere, she pulls this like syringe gun. And since seeing this scene, I've thought about where she might have been hiding this gun on her person. Because in the fight, there's no sign of any like book bag or like. I'm like, where does she pull that gun out of? You know what I'm saying? She pulls the gun out and injects her, and then she becomes like this giant, like real cheetah looking in the face. Anyway, it's super fast. She like amplifies her speed. The serum that she was given by Dr. Poison amplifies her speed, and she starts like really giving it to Wonder Woman with the hands. And Wonder Woman ain't really know how to react and respond at first, but then she smartened up, changed the environment, got her in a more tight spot, and then like hit her with the old 1-2. Wonder Woman being a demigod, so the villain is, spoiler alert, at the very end is Medusa, and then she gets supercharged with what seems to be like the Giganta serum that made her grow giant. So you got like this giant Medusa. So Medusa, I guess, has this ability not to just turn people to stone, but to have this influence over them to make them want to stare into her gaze. She's like towering and stomping on people. She ended up murdering Dr. Poison. As far as the villains go in this movie, fantastic choices, fantastic fight sequences. Wonder Woman herself was impressive. From my understanding, basically the world of man was just lured to her entire life. It's like she adjusted so quickly, and then decided that even with all of the sad things that she witnessed in the world, that she wanted to still dedicate her life to making it a better place. And in the movie, there's this scene that I really think is awesome, where the daughters, this is like the very beginning, the daughter's sort of starting to get bitter or whatever about the relationship, and she's like, what makes you think that you could just come into this world and like and like do anything about it. And like, what makes you think you could change anything? And Wonder Woman's like, I might not know, I might not succeed, but this is what I choose to try, and this is what I want to do with my life. And I think it just goes back to that conversation about conviction and just how true Wonder Woman really is to like her values of wanting to make the world a better place through not just her sword, but through diplomacy. I thought it was a fantastic movie. I think, hey, if you were looking for something to push play on before the day is over, yo, Wonder Woman Bloodlines is a solid watch. I would suggest you go on and do that. This has been another episode of the Two for the World show. The platform where we create us is Actual Factuals. I'm your host, William Zillions, and yo, stay true. Still two.
Outside of the lines, move it around a bit. If now it's your time, then when is your time again? I'm in love with these sounds and I can drown with them. Right ahead in the path, it's not really right within. I'm fascinated. What with all this passion will bring me? Go for the everlasting greatness. I believe you see it. What the fuck you? You ain't no one property. Vibrate higher, don't you mute your colors of nobody.